How many brothers and sisters did Jesus have? How many blood brothers and blood sisters did he have? Zero. He had a zero. But yet the scripture says explicitly, and is he not the brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon, and are not his sisters here with us? Now, if you took this literally, it lists the names of 4 of his brothers. And it says he's got sisters, so that's at least 2. So if you take this literally, Mary had seven natural children. The Catholic Church would refute that and say, you have to interpret this based on the context of it, Where it says, is Jesus not the brother of James and Joseph? The word for brother in Greek is adelphos. Like, have you ever been to Philadelphia? It is a phila adelphos, the city of brotherly love. And so this notion of brother in this context doesn't mean that. May I just tell you a quick story? Not too long ago, I went to a Protestant funeral. One of the members of the parish had a relative who was Baptist. They invited me to go to the Baptist funeral. So I went to the Baptist funeral. I sat in the congregation, and after the funeral was over, the Baptist preacher stood at the door and was greeting everybody as they left. And when he came to me, and I had on the collar, I was dressed in black, and what do you think he said to me? Brother, thank you for coming. And I said, oh, thank you, you're welcome. In a certain sense, we are brothers because we're both Christians. We believe that Jesus is the Lord, second person of the Trinity. So in that sense, we are spiritual brothers. But as far as being physically brothers, we are not. And so it depends upon the context here. You can actually look where it says the brother of James and Joseph. James and Joseph, if you go further in the Gospel of Mark, are identified as the 2 sons of a man named Clopas, who is married to another Mary. And so Christ had no blood brothers. If you want to say that another way, Jesus was an only child. He was an only child. He had no blood brothers. And he had no blood sisters, no sisters. I give you another way to interpret that. All of you remember from your own study of the scriptures about the crucifixion of Jesus. Jesus is dying. And at the foot of the cross is Mary Magdalene. You have John, the youngest apostle, and you have his mother, Mary. You have those 3 people. And Jesus, as he's dying, he looks at his mother. Remember this story? He looks at his mother and he says, he's dying. And he looks down. And he looks at his mother and he says, woman, behold your son. And he's talking about John, the young apostle. Then he looks at John and he said, behold your mother. But my question to you is this. Is if Jesus would have had 4 brothers and 2 sisters, why would he have given away the custody of his mother to somebody who was not of his family? He would not have. He would have had the 4 brothers and the 2 sisters who would have taken care of the mother. And Jesus wouldn't have had to do what? Say, woman, behold your son. If Jesus had 4 brothers and if he had 2 sisters, Jesus was an only child. He was divine. He had no blood brothers. He had no blood sisters. None.